Hey everyone, this is Mary from SVG Kits, and I'm here today with some new projects. And the reason that I came up with these was totally inspired by this really cool paper. So it's kind of got an Art Nouveau type of gypsy feel to it. So I'll kind of show you here in just a minute, but I really wanted to come up with some kind of Tiffany inspired lamp. And I've been thinking about doing a project like this for a while, and I finally figured out how to make it exactly what I had in mind. So it's pretty cool because it uses one of these standard candles, which I got at Hobby Lobby and at Michael's craft stores. They usually only have them now during the holiday season. So I'll have all the information in your download in the PDF, exactly what I bought. But if it's not the holiday season, you can always get them on Amazon too. So I got two different ones on Amazon. They're all the same exact size. They're probably made in the same factory, I'm not sure, but they seem pretty identical. So there's 4 different candles that you can use, and you can check your PDF for the exact information about what those all are. So the candle is inside here, and it comes out, the cord comes out the back, and I used some nice metallic bronze paper for the bottom and metallic black for the top, which I got at Michael's in packs of 5, but that will also be listed out in your download. So the lamp is cool because it comes right off and it fits right onto the bottom there. So the bulb is not anywhere near the paper, and it doesn't, I had it on all day and it doesn't get very hot to the touch. But with that being said, I would still not leave it unattended, of course, just to be extra safe since it is paper. But if you would like to get a bulb this size that's actually an LED bulb, that would be even better, at the Home Depot or whatever, because those bulbs don't get hot at all, just to be even safer. But like I said, you just don't want to leave that unattended, just to be safe. And if the bulb burns out, you can always unscrew it and put a new one in. So the way that I got the color inside here is I actually have 2 layers of vellum for each panel, and it's not separate little colors. I actually used white vellum for all of the vellum pieces. So it's just white vellum, which I colored in with markers. So I used these Copic markers, and I colored both sides of the vellum, and then it's double layered, and I colored the second layer twice. So I'll show you all that here in detail, but I was pretty happy with the way that it came out, because when it comes to colored vellum, it's just not as many color choices, and since I colored it in myself, I was able to blend it in and kind of get a little bit more creative with my coloring. So to go with the lamp, I wanted to make a really nice butterfly box card. So we also have this, and just like a regular box card, it folds flat so that you can put it in its envelope and give it to someone in an envelope. It's the butterflies I actually colored in also with markers. So each butterfly is only 2 layers. It's the black on top and then a layer on the bottom. But just to give it some more interest, I also colored it in with the same colors of markers, and I added some details with a black fine tip felt pen. So I will show you exactly how I did that here in just a minute too. So we also have a pretty little gift bag, which kind of goes with the whole feel of the rest of the projects, and a nice little card that you could stamp whatever you want on the little label, as well as this little guy could be a little gift thing if you want to put something inside that won't fall out the holes, or you could put something inside of a little plastic baggie to give to someone. Or I thought it looked pretty cool with a little candle inside. So the paper that I used, like I said, this totally inspired me, and I've never used paper before by Marion Smith Designs, but Marion has left some nice comments before on our SVG Cuts Instagram feed, which I saw, and I'm totally loving what she came up with here. Just really, really cool, random, vintage, cool stuff. Love it, love it. And I had so much fun working with it. And the shimmery paper that I used for the lamp, any kind of metallic shimmery paper I think will look cool, or even if it's not shimmery, it's gonna look great. But what I got was from Michael's, and it's in the aisle with all the paper, all the individual papers, and it was up at the top. And this one is, what is it? I think just black, and then they have chocolate. And this one is embossed, but they also have plain. So that is the paper that I used, and I've got all my pieces cut out to show you how the 3D projects go together. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the lamp, and I'm going to start off with the base of the lamp. And there are 6 sides to it, so we have 6 pieces like this, and only one of them is different, and it's just got a hole down here for the cord to come out. So we want to fold them so that these top 2 are folded towards you, and so are either side of this long piece folded towards you, as well as right here, and then everything else you want to be folded the regular way, which would be away from you, also called a mountain fold, as opposed to a valley fold. So if you're using shimmer paper like I am, you might want to see, normally when I'm just working with regular cardstock that doesn't have any kind of sheen to it, I would just put glue on all these tabs all the way up. But since this paper is shiny, it has a tendency to need a little more attention. So I'm only going to do a few pieces at a time and hold them as they dry a little bit longer than I normally would. So just something to keep in mind if you have paper like mine here. So as you can see, I'm just one at a time, just carefully aligning each tab with the shape next to it. And then I'm going to put some glue on the next couple of tabs. And I'm just working my way up the whole seam. Just one at a time, making sure it's dry enough to take hold before I keep going. And of course you want to avoid getting glue on your shimmery paper or your regular paper if possible. Oops. And I'm going to go ahead and put glue on the rest of these. And just the same thing that I've done before, just working my way up the seam one tab at a time. So once you've got your whole seam closed up, you're just going to do the same thing with the other 4 pieces and create the base of your lamp. So here are all 6 of my sides glued together, and since this is a demonstration, I rushed a little bit. Yours probably looks even better than mine. But those are all 6 of the sides, and the next thing we want to do is go ahead and put your embellishments on, which would be this piece here. So you just want to put some glue all the way around it, and maybe decide or take a look and see where the back hole is and put this seam near the back somewhere and glue that into place. And then you can go ahead and glue these little pieces right here onto the front of each of those sides, and then you can glue each of these pieces here. And I used the embossed version of this paper for these parts. It looks kind of nice. And then you can go ahead and also glue all 6 of these into place. So once all your embellishments are in place, you can go ahead and take your candle and just go ahead and put it over the project with the cord, with the cord coming out towards the hole where it's going to be coming out. So once that is in place, you can turn it over and cover all of these tabs with glue and put your bottom right into place. And that will finish off the base of your lamp. So now for the shade of your lamp, it's basically made up of 3 pieces that look like this, And I went ahead and I folded each of these little folded areas. And when you're folding it on a delicate part, if I was able to just fold it, but if you want to get out your craft spatula to kind of hold behind it, if that helps. But basically you want to fold it all, but then keep it pretty flat like I've got it here. So for each of the 6 sides, this being one side, 1, 2, 3 parts to the side, there's going to be one piece of vellum here, well, 2 layers, another 2 layers, and another 2 layers. So as you can see, there will be 2 pieces like this glued behind this shape, 2 pieces like this glued behind this shape, and then 2 pieces like this glued behind that shape. So the next thing we want to do is color those in so they're nice and colorful. And the way that I'm going to decide where I want to put my color is, just to start off with, I'm just going to hold it up there and get a feel for where I'm going to put my marker coloring. So I've got this is the outside. I've got it face down and I've got my vellum here. So I want, like, let's say I want my dragon wings to be green. And if you go outside the lines a little bit, it does not matter because it just blends in and it looks cool. So here are my green wings. And then let's say that I want my dragonfly body to be red. I'm going to do this. And then I want, actually I'm going to kind of blend it in a little bit. I'm going to put some red down there. You don't have to do it exactly like I've done it. You can get creative, do whatever you feel like. Kind of blend it in. On these side parts, I'm going to put some orange. I might even scribble a little bit of orange on the inside. And as long as you're holding it up to a white surface, it looks pretty vibrant, but as soon as you pick it up, you can see that it's very hard to see the color. So what you want to do is take it and flip it over and just go over what you did again on the other side. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to scribble over where you colored with the same colors, or you can kind of blend it together a little bit. So now both sides have color on them. If you want, you can go back and do a second layer of some more color, just kind of scribble it on there. And I just think this is a lot more fun and easier than trying to cut and glue a whole bunch of little tiny pieces of colored vellum. So you can just be more creative with it, and you can not have to do as much gluing. I'd rather color than glue. So now I want to have 2 layers thick of the same design. So I'm going to use that bottom one as a little template and go over. I'm going to go over what I colored in again. Since I can see it through the top, it's nice and easy to just do what I did. Maybe put some yellow in there with the green wings. And then all I'm going to do is flip this top one over and do the same exact thing on the other side. So if you want to make it even more vibrant, I would color it in a second time on each side, just to lay down even more color. So if you want to make it as vibrant as possible, what you're going to do is color it in twice on each side of each piece. So then for the other parts of it, we're just going to do the same exact thing. I won't even go through all of it, but here's what I did for mine, is I made these circles, and then I colored in the rest of it orange. So again, you're going to double it up, and if you want it to be extra colorful, go ahead and do two layers of color on each side of both pieces. And again, you can just use what you've done to color in the other piece. And then for the top part, all I did was color in these leaf-shaped parts green, as well as the top. But of course you can get totally creative, whatever colors you want to do, you can change it up. I made each side is the same on mine, but you can change it up if you want. So once you've got all your pieces of vellum, I just want to keep my cap on here. Once you've got all your vellum colored in, you can go ahead and glue that into place carefully by putting a couple little dots of glue. And you want to be careful with your glue, because if it comes out the side, it will be like a little dark area when your lamp is on. So you just want to put some little tiny dots of glue all the way around the edges and on the inside, and then go ahead and glue your piece into place. Then you can go ahead and do the same thing. But of course, you know, you're having fun being crafty. Take your time, put some little dots, you know, evenly spaced out. And then go ahead and put your second colored layer inside. So if you want to take a look from the other side, if you notice you've got some glue, you can take a straight pin and kind of get rid of it before it dries. So you want to go ahead and do that with all of your vellum pieces. And then if you would like to add the designs, like I've done for my dragonfly wings, you can get creative and do whatever you want, but I will also include a diagram in your PDF showing how I did mine if you want to do it just like mine. So all I did was I just drew some lines. I don't think they all have to be identical, as long as both sides, if this is identical to that, like a mirror image on the same butterfly or the same dragonfly, I think that looks cool. But all I did was basically draw some lines and then fill it in with little perpendicular lines. So you can go ahead and do that. Can't wait to see what yours looks like. If you do it a little bit differently or do the same way, it's going to look totally cool. So you do not need to flip it over and do that on the other side. That looks just fine if you do it on the front. So let's pretend that I've got all my colored pieces in place and all my markering done that I wanted to do. Now we can go ahead and carefully glue our lamp together. So to do that, I just want to put some glue on this little skinny tab here, as well as on this tab. And this shimmery paper can be a tiny bit trickier than regular paper to glue because it does have that finish on it, so you might need to hold it a little bit longer while it dries. And then put this piece into place and give it a chance to dry. And then to finish that off, we can put some glue on all 5 of these tabs, going all the way out to the little corners, and then grab one of your little five-sided pieces and glue that into place. So once it starts to take hold, you can turn it over and push down from the other side so it's nice and flat. And then if you would like to put your little panels in place here, you can do that. So once you've got 3 pieces that look like this, I've got mine all done except without my vellum and everything. You can start to glue them together side to side. So to do that, I'm putting some glue on these 2 funny looking skinny tabs, and and putting those right in place. It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy to figure out what goes where. And then up here on this, oops, not there. We want the glue to be underneath that piece. So some glue up here. I've got glue all over the place, but it's just a demonstration, so I'll try not to let it bother me too much. So once that takes hold, again, we're just going to put this little 5-sided piece into place. Just like we did before. Once it starts to take hold, you can turn it over and push from the inside. So then you can go ahead and do what I just did with the remaining piece to finish it off and form the rest of your lamp. So the next thing we want to do is put together the inside of the lampshade, which is 6 pieces that look like this, and you want the top and the bottom to be folded towards you, and then this part and this part folded away from you. So all 6 pieces are identical, and all we're going to do is put glue on those 2 side tabs and then glue one to the other. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. So you want to go ahead and glue all 6 to each other to form one big piece. So I've got all 6 pieces glued together here, and what we're going to do is glue this right into the inside of the lamp. So obviously yours will be colorful with your vellum and everything inside. It's going to look like this, but the way that you want to glue that into place is, let's just one at a time put some glue on one of them. And when you set it inside, you can kind of feel that it is in the right place. And you want to glue that just right in the center of the shape. You can see from the inside when you're looking down, as long as it's even, and when you glue it into place, as long as it's centered and it's just a hair below the fold line there, you can kind of feel when you push down from on the top of it that it's nice and even. So I'm going to jump across to the other tab on the other side and do the same thing. And it's okay if you get a little messy with your glue, because no one's going to see that once it's dry. And glue that into place. And now you just want to work your way around and glue the other 4 into place on the inside so that they're nice and even and so that it's nice and stable. So now for the little cap that goes on the top of our lampshade here. It's made up of 3 pieces. This is the top, in the middle, and the bottom. So we can go ahead and glue the bottom into shape with some glue on that little tab there. And then do the same thing with this top piece. And glue that into a little cone shape. So for this middle piece, as you can see, it's arched like this, and these top tabs are folded away from you, but the bottom ones are going to be folded towards you. So we can go ahead and put some glue on this little side tab here and fold that into place. And I'm going to hold that as it's drying and then put some glue on all of these tabs. And you can take your time even more and kind of evenly distribute it distribute the glue and make it go all the way out to the corners and whatnot. And then I'm going to put it down on my work surface here and kind of hold it for a minute and wait for some of those tabs to take hold. And then I'm going to grab a pencil or a pen or something, or your pinky or whatever will fit, and just make sure that those tabs are all touching up in the inside. So this shimmery paper, it's like you need to hold it a little bit longer for the glue to take hold, but you get the idea. So the next thing I want to do is put this through the bottom, and then I can put some glue on each of these little tabs and fold them open so that it is glued into place inside, and that will be your little cap. So then to put that on your project, mine looks a little bare, but you want to obviously put glue on all of these and then just glue that right into place. So these are alternating different shapes, and you know, it kind of looks like either way that you turn it, it's going to look fine. If you want, you can have this triangle line up with the other triangle, but if you do this, I don't think it really matters. So next, for our butterfly box card, we've got all the butterflies here, like I was saying, are just 2 layers. So each top matches up with a different bottom. So we want to start out by just gluing all the tops to the corresponding bottoms. So to do that, I'm just going to put some glue all over. And if your paper is textured and you plan on coloring on it, like I'm about to, I think it's nice to have the smooth side on the front and the textured side on the back, just because it's easier to color and everything on the smooth side. So you want to go ahead and glue together each of your butterflies, and then to add some nice color, I've got my markers here again. And I happen to be using Copic markers. That's what I grabbed at Michael's, but I'm sure that other markers will be awesome too. So as you can see, I am just coloring in really just wherever I want. If you want to do it just like I've done mine, you can check out your PDF in your download. But if you want to get a little crazy and change it up, by all means, go for it. So this paper is already orange, and I'm coloring orange on top of it just to give it a different color. And again, I just think, kind of like the lamp that I just made, I think that this is a little easier and more fun than gluing a bunch of little different pieces that are different colors. So if you want to do yours just like I've done mine, you can check out your PDF for little diagrams of exactly how I colored mine in. But I think every time I do it, it would be a little bit different. If you want to, you know, get creative, look at some pictures of butterflies online, use that as inspiration, you can do that. The only thing you want to do is kind of try to make each side mirror the other side. So I think I looked at some pictures of some butterflies online, and I just kind of did whatever. So you get the idea. You can do it just like I have mine, or do whatever you want. However creative you're feeling is fine and dandy. So I would just copy the other thing on the other side. So if you're kind of freehanding it, maybe just do like one little section and then do the same thing. You know, make 2 lines and then make the same 2 lines over there. Makes it easier to make it mirror each other. So you want to go ahead and do that with all of your butterflies, and then kind of gently fold their wings towards you a little bit. I'm not really creasing it, I'm just kind of folding it towards myself. So once all of your butterflies are colored in how you like, it's kind of fun when you've got the white paper behind. You can add a lot of different colors if you want. So once you have them colored in how you want them, and you have them gently folded, you can go ahead and glue each one into place. And you can see also in your PDF, you can see exactly where they go on each part of your card here. And as you can see, I'm just putting glue down the center of each butterfly, so they're nice and dimensional. And same goes for this little moth guy here. And finally this last this last one, same thing. And I did not color in all of my butterflies or put any lines on them or anything, but you get the idea. So there's that piece, there's this piece, and then on this front piece here, I went ahead and glued my little, it looks like a drawer on there, and then folded this flap down and put my panel there. There's a little hole so that if you want to put a little brad or something, or not a brad, but like a sticky, you know, embellishment there, you can. So the next thing we want to do is also take a look at this large piece, and I went ahead and folded this flap down and glued the panel on, as well as this panel. And I also glued the back panel into place so you can write or stamp on that if you want. Then this piece is going to be folded over like this to form what looks like a little frame. But before we glue that into place, we've got two frames here. This one is a little bit larger than the other one. I went ahead and put the other one together already. So we will put the larger one together. And as you can see on all of these little panels here, I put some black ink around the edge. I think that adds a nice touch, and I also did that around the edges of those flaps. So what you want to do is put some glue on these and glue those into place. And in order to not get glue all over the place, I'm going to grab a scrap paper, and we just want to glue those down into place. And then you can go ahead and glue each of these onto the front of your frame. And again, there are two of them. This one is a little bit skinnier and smaller than this one. You can tell where these little panels go. So go ahead and put both of those together. And then this one is going to get glued right onto the front of this, like so. And then I'm going to put some glue on this guy. And we want this to be able to fold flat. So I'm going to put that in place like this. And then as soon as it's nice and dry, we can fold it forward to create a little dimensional frame back there, but it also folds flat so that like a good box card, you can put it in its envelope. So next I'm going to take this rectangle and carefully slide that inside without getting too much glue all over and glue that into place. Then we can go ahead and glue the body of our box card together with some glue on this side tab and glue that into place. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side here. With some glue and glue this into place. Then we can take then I'm going to take my remaining frame here And I'm going to glue that right onto the front. Right onto the front of my box card. Then I'm going to take this piece here and fold these side tabs towards myself and put some glue. And that's going to go right inside. It's going to be flush with the top of the box, and the front of that tab is flush with the front of the box. So once you kind of get it into place, you can fold it back and forth to make sure that it's going to fold flat. And that goes right on the inside. Kind of creates a little shadow box effect in there. And then we can take our next piece here, which is this one, and fold those tabs towards yourself. And the top of that tab is going to be flush with the top of the box, and the front of the tab is flush with the piece in front of it. So everything's nice and perpendicular so that it will fold flat both ways. And then we're going to do the same thing with this piece, except the tabs are folded. The tabs are folded towards the back, and we just want to carefully slide that into place. And again, those tabs are flush with the top and the back of the box. Nice and perpendicular so that it folds flat. And then you want to fold it both ways, make sure it's going to fold flat. Then you can go ahead and put your final butterflies on. I think this one looks cute right here, and then this one looks pretty cute right here in the front. So next, for our butterfly gift bag, gift box, gift bag, whatever you want to call it, we've got two main pieces here that make the bag, and I went ahead and glued the back panel on, as well as this two-layered side panel. And then there's another two-layered side panel over here, and that is it as far as panels that you want to glue on ahead of time. So the next thing I want to do is put the main part of this together. So I've got some glue there on my side tab, and just want to glue one to the other and then close it up on the other side. Like so. So we might as well go ahead and close up the bottom of it with some glue on all three of these tabs, going all the way out to the little corners. And I'm just carefully lining it up and pushing down from the inside. And then we might as well go ahead and put this remaining little rectangle on the inside, which just reinforces the bottom and finishes it off. So the next thing we can do is take our inside back panel, and if you noticed, I rubbed some black ink around the edges of this, which I think adds a nice effect with this particular paper, because it's kind of dark, even though it's it's pretty and it's happy, but it kind of has like a dark feel to it. So I had fun rubbing some black ink around the edges of most of these pieces. So there's the back, and then we can go ahead and glue the top layer of the top of this butterfly into place. And you can be more precise with your glue. I'm just kind of throwing it on here for the sake of demonstration, but oops, you get the idea. That just goes right on top. And then same with the bottom here. We just want to glue that into place. So as long as there's some glue on these larger pieces, I think that's fine. It doesn't need to withstand anything crazy, so as long as you got some glue all over, you are good. So next we can glue just on the center of the top part here. And I'm going to glue that right to the bottom. And then I would like to just carefully kind of bend the wings towards myself. Just a little bit. I'm not creasing them, I'm just kind of bending them towards me. And then you can also put this little body of your butterfly into place. And then we just want to, you can glue the whole thing down into place, but I think it looks even cooler if you only put the glue in the center and make sure it's nice and centered on the front of the bag. And then if you have some dimensional pop dots, like some zots, you can put some really close right underneath the wing to make it really pop out, which is what I did underneath mine. And then we've got some panels left over here, which are 2 layers. The bottom layer happens to be black, and you just want to glue those nice and centered on the front, like so, with this little small one in the front also. And then this one goes in the back behind. So finally, for our little funky little vase here, which kind of looks like kind of gypsy-ish, which is what I had in mind. I have, how many sides? 6-sided, and so there are 6 pieces like this. They're all the same except for one has the bottom attached to it. So all you're going to do is, well, all these side tabs you want to be folded away from you, which is a mountain fold, as well as the top. But then the next 2 here are valley folds, and then a mountain fold, mountain fold, mountain fold. So once all of your pieces are folded like that, we can go ahead and put some glue on all these side tabs. And some of them are shaped a little funny just so that they don't show through the windows of the pieces next to them. So like I was saying earlier, I think this would be a cool little gift. Put something inside, or if you want to put a little electronic battery-powered tea light inside, it looks pretty cool. I was at Michael's in the floral section, and I got some vase filler, which I put in the bottom of mine just to weigh it down, and it kind of adds some sparkle down at the bottom, and it looks kind of cool. So you want to go ahead and do this with all 6 sides, all 6 pieces. So all 6 of my sides are glued together, and then the final step is just to put some glue behind each of these little tabs and fold those over, and that just finishes off the top, makes it look nice, you know, all glued down. Then you can go ahead and put glue on these bottom tabs and fold this over to finish off the bottom. Then you can add your, there are 6 pieces like this with a little fold here. If you want to rub some ink around the edge, that looks kind of nice. That's actually going to go on top of this piece here. So you want to glue that into place. And then you can go ahead and glue this into place right on top of it, all the way around. And then if you are making one similar to mine, or whatever your theme kind of is, I had a lot of fun at Hobby Lobby picking up some really cool, like bohemian looking embellishments with some hemp cord and some leather. So I kind of had a little vision for this thing, and it came out pretty cute. So there you have it, fun projects for the end of summer or for really any time. I hope you have a blast making them, and if you do, of course, you'll have to share a picture on our Facebook wall or on your blog, pin it on Pinterest, put it on Instagram, however you want to share it. We always love seeing your projects, and so do the rest of our crafty friends. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time, and happy crafting.